Bam. We're live. We're live here. Welcome. We're about to get started here. Welcome. Yeah, if you're new, let me know where you're from. Yeah, if you're new, welcome. Let me know what part of the country you're from. And yeah, if you have any open to any questions you might have about estimating. And let me know whether you are or you are not using any form of AI to help with that. We'll roll here in just a minute. All right, welcome. Hugh, if you're new, welcome. Let me know where you're from. So, if there's no questions, I'll just get started. Hello. We're going to talk about AI and estimating. So, some of you guys might know now that you can literally, if you have a set of plans, you have a scope of work that the homeowner has had designed or laid out, or if you've helped them come up with one, you can start entering that into AI. For those of you that are building project folders within like ChatGPT, you can follow me here. You can take old projects and upload those to help get a basis for how you want your future jobs to be estimated. So you can input the data, the pricing, so that your AI machine, the chat engine that you use, it has a way to help generate figures that are relative to you. Steve, welcome. If you're new, let me know where you're from. So, for instance, what we've been doing is finding past estimates, and we're uploading those into the system, and then we're referencing them when we have jobs that are similar, so that we can come up with a quick scope of work and come up with our estimate, come up with our cost, ask it to account for any inflation changes depending on when the default estimate was uploaded or when that job was performed. So, are any of you guys using anything to help you do your estimating? Are any of you using Open Space AI? Are you using Magic Plan, Hover? Are you using Render? Are any of you guys taking your phone and scanning the space that you're about to remodel, and so you can get some measurements and designs? And then are you entering that data into AI at all? For some of you that like to, if you're bidding larger jobs and you're bidding them out into the future, are any of you guys using CraftJack or Builder Trends Material Price Index data? Um, Now, some people, you can factor in this yourself. For instance, some people are predicting prices are going to keep going by like materials could be rising as much as like another 15% over the course of a year. So some people are already starting to inflate their prices now for the future. I don't know if you guys are doing that or not. Jay Allen, hey, welcome. It's been a few days. Hope did you have a good Thanksgiving? Gary and Jerry, welcome. If you guys have any questions about estimating or using AI, yeah, very nice. Not really good break. We were away for several days, so getting back into everything. Uh, Jay, which software have you heard of that you're saying, but you don't think it would work? Which one was that? The video camera? Yeah. So in your world right now with doing service work, no, not necessarily. But if you start bidding on bath remodels, where you're going to be doing the demo and then putting it all back together, I could see some benefit. Might help speed up time by scanning the room with your phone. I'm finding that the measuring is pretty darn accurate. It's not to say that you can't also just take a photo and upload those photos as well. So I think what we've been trying to do behind the scenes, yeah, the measurements. Now, I've been shocked. A lot of them are very good. In fact, they're real accurate. So it depends. I think at the end of the day, everything's about trying to eliminate the amount of time that it takes you to get the information, right? So if I'm to put down, if I pull out my tape measure, my laser measure, a pad and paper, or make the notes on my phone or iPad or whatever, as opposed to if I can just take a scan or a photo of one wall, second wall. So I don't know. Been working with it, trying it, and it's fast. I'll say that. So I think it's only getting better. Yeah. So that's an interesting point. One of the things I was getting ready to talk about too is that it's funny. It depends on your experience in the business. Some people, like in my area, 1920s houses are built different than how 1940s houses. Um, and I don't know if every contractor knows that until they get into those style of houses. Just because somebody says they have plaster doesn't mean right. So, um, but yeah, it's a good AI can help you for sure to uncover that. And I think you have to add a lot more time on any job that you're doing, any plaster demolition or repair work. It's just more finicky. I think one thing that I like about using AI right now for estimating is it's more accurate with the what I call the fluff time, the time that I tend to underestimate. Transition time between trades. Just in general, I tend to think I will get jobs done faster than I really do. And AI doesn't seem to have that problem. That's one thing I'm finding right now. Believe it or not, AI is helping me charge more money because I tend to underestimate and I'm usually wrong. So, it does there's usually a little extra time. I don't know how you're finding on most of your jobs that you bid up front. Are you usually finding, damn it takes like an extra 10% longer, or maybe you're like, no, I got it? Okay. Yeah. There's something about my mind. I always think that, I had that one job that one time that went so good. And I'm like, the next one's going to be just like it. You hope, but they generally aren't. Uh, Jay Allen, are you finding that you have to give a lot of detail to book jobs over the phone? Or, um, like, are you pretty much giving a price for your service call? Does that homeowner know about? How does it work? Do you give them a range? Do they pretty much have sort of a set price, or do you say, "Hey, I have a service call fee, a trip fee, and then once I get out there, I can diagnose and tell you how much the rest of the job's gonna be." How or have you been does he do all that? I'm curious, how are you handling, projects right now? Steve, good question. So, Steve, I have been building, uh, my own estimating platform behind the scenes. What I've been doing is I'm using so I have a spreadsheet, and I'm using a combination of, like, I use Claude, Grok, DeepSeek, and I upload past estimates, and then I'm asking them to analyze previous estimates, and then I will upload the current scope of work and ask it to run an analysis to tell me what it thinks it should be. Now, understand that the AI has to get the information to be able to make the recommendation. So I don't have it 100% worked out, but I will say that by and large, it's pretty smart, and it makes all the calculations and comes up with a beautiful layout and scope for very fast. And I'm not even using I tried using some of the paid ones like Handoff AI to get familiar with them, but we're finding that everything has to be very specific to the niche that you're in. Like roofers need a very systematic way to come up with roofing pricing. Plumbers, probably electricians need to come up with have a very systematic way, specific way. So remodelers, I'm working on building a very specific, systematic way for remodelers. Tell me, Steve, what is it that what's your specialty and where are you from? Okay, so Jay Allen, you've been slightly above. That's good. It's better to be high, I think. Uh, Botus, yes, we are working on that. Yes, I'd be curious. How about yourself? What's your niche? Botus too. Welcome. I don't know if I've seen. I don't recognize your channel. Let me know where you're from. All right. All right. So Jay Allen, for you, when the homeowner calls in, you're giving an idea, but it's not a set price. Are you giving them a range? Is that what you're doing? And then I guess once you get out, you write up the final invoice once the project's completed. But they know coming up front that when you're coming out, there's a fee, right? Because and that they're booking you to do the job. They just don't know the exact cost, is what I think I hear you saying. Right. So are you looking at these jobs for free, or once you go out, Jayon, are you only going out if they want what I'm saying, homeowner calls up, says, "Hey, we have a problem." And you're like, "Well, I could come out. My base rate is this, or it's going to, minimum charge is this." And then are they saying, "Great." And then once you get out there, you're giving them the final price as you're already doing the work, or are you often going out and looking at it and then presenting them with your cost? Okay, very good. Yeah, very cool. Oh, fiberglass pools. Okay. Um, there are, Steve, it's interesting. There are guys that have done very well with the pool business. If you focus on that like as its own division, um, you can do very well. A lot of those guys seem to go out of business because they don't seem to know how to manage the business well. So if you have a good business acumen, right? Because it's a little bit of a process, but and a lot of it's tempting because you're collecting a lot of you're usually I'm assuming in North Carolina. So I'm in Maryland, so a lot of times you'll be collecting money, and then that pool won't be starting for like 6 months. So you have to be cautious. Let's just say with what you do with your cash flow. Got it, Jay Allen. Yeah, right. If you give them a price and they don't like it, I hear you. All right. Botus. Okay, California. Let us know what part of California, Botus. So, yeah, the fire restoration business is very interesting. Um, so are you using a Gantt style chart for your scheduling? Does that make sense to you? Because uh, if you use a Gantt chart, you can tie those triggers into the demo crew got started on Wednesday, right? And then a notification can go out to like the plumber, the electrician, HVAC, that most likely they should be being ready to come in on like Monday, let's say. Um, and that would be sent typically. You could do text, you could do email, right? That's up to you and how you communicate with the guys. Some guys are creating channels within Slack, and all the notifications are kept in Slack, or you use WhatsApp. Um, some guys are doing it that way. Yeah, very all right. So you know what you're talking about. Yeah, if you're using N8N, you know what you're doing. What? Why do you run so many jobs? Why? It seems to me like 24 is a lot. Why isn't there another project manager? Is it your business? Are you a project manager? Help me understand why 24 jobs at one time? Are these small projects? All right, so you are the project manager. How are you manage so in my mind, I'm trying to think, how are you managing they're not all in construction then, right? Because in insurance, things take time. So are you part of the estimating too? I'm just trying to me, 24 sounds like a lot. You're saying they're active. Yeah. So, Botus, what you guys have to be so obviously in your industry, a lot of guys are using Xactimate to do the estimating. But what are you using to do your what's your CRM? How are you scheduling jobs, notifying? Is that what you're building now, or are you using something like a builder trend? What software are you using? Because somehow you have to be scheduling these projects out and everybody needs to have a dashboard. Is that what you're creating now, or what are you already using to do that? Yeah. Whew. Yeah, I don't know how you're doing it. I feel for you. I would live in, so for me, you Mon if you're talking about Monday.com, like I've looked into Monday. I found that the well, maybe I'm mistaken. For me, it was a little I didn't feel like the Gantt chart flowed well in that software. Um, I like having a Gantt chart where I can color code by trade and and give a customer a color. So all my tradesmen have the same color. Plumber would always be, let's say, blue. Electrician's always yellow, right? And that way they always can see their block of days highlighted in the calendar. Um, but yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I don't know how you're doing 20. I don't know how you're, good for you, man. 24 jobs is a lot. It's got to be challenging because you guys definitely need everybody needs to have access to that digital calendar. Whew. Yeah, I don't envy you, Botus. You've got some that's a challenge for sure. But I think you're going at it the right way. What's interesting is the average remodeling contractor, his project managers are not going to be managing 24 jobs at one time. Um, so the demand on you and your scheduling capabilities is much different than I would say the average remodeler. Yeah. Do you create? Do you use Slack? Do you create for every homeowner's project? Do you create a channel, let's say, within Slack so that you can communicate with the homeowner and all the tradespeople and everybody has one place that they store all their communications, documents, files, plans, all the digital plans? Do you guys do that? I mean, how are you even managing all that? All right, Steve. So the pools are number two, builder, remodeler first. Lots of taillight specials, not a lot of business owner. Yeah. Steve, tell me what part of North Carolina are you in? Are you Yeah, no, that makes sense, Botus. Yeah. Obviously you already know the trick. You have to get it out of here. It has to be put up on a dashboard as fast as possible. Jay Allen, yeah, he's got to be on the phone nonstop texting people. Yeah. Well, Botus, I'm assuming you work with the same subs over and over again. Um, so yeah, I mean, as long as they can check Lake Norman area. Okay, nice, Steve. Do you work with a lot of people that Steve? Do you have a lot of clients that it's their second home, like a vacation home that you're working on for them? I guess what I'm asking is, you probably are in a higher end market. A lot of homeowners that have, uh, some money, discretionary income, let's call it. Yeah. No, that's good. Good for you. That's a great market to be in right now. It makes sense to me why you're adding pools in a sense. I could see that your pool business becoming its own division that like really takes off. There's a couple guys. So like I said, I'm in the Maryland area. There's a couple guys around me that have just are crushing it with the in the pool business. So Bodis, are you asking this question as if you were like to start your own remodeling business or are you going to stay in the restoration, the insurance game? Uh, So you ever hear of I don't know if I should I have a friend in my area that runs a very successful restoration business. Um I mean most of those relationships you're going to be building those with your community. You have to get in with obviously there's special, the terms. There's these special age groups that you have to get into, right? And they rotate, they give one job. Some guys go that route. You buy into that group. Other guys make a lot of handshakes. They're out kissing babies, as they say, making friends with a lot of home insurance agents so that when there is a calamity or problem, they'll be referred. And you got to just make a lot of connections in your community with homeowners so that they'll call you. That's what I've found. That's the guys that are most successful in the restoration business. You want the homeowner. So for me, we did a few restoration jobs. That wasn't a niche of mine, but all the ones that I did were very profitable and very successful because the homeowner wanted us to do the work. So that gave us some negotiating power with the insurance company, as opposed to um, when you're working and beholding to the insurance company, if that makes sense to you. So if it were me, I would try to get the jobs independently. So you're asking, so you're going to start networking like crazy. You're going to have to save up some money to get that cash flow that you're talking about, but not much. Um, but yeah, you're going to have to get some cash flow. So I would save some money. But Jay Allen, you know it. Yeah, Botus, if you're a behind the scenes kind of personality guy, um, you might want to get a partner or hire somebody to do your networking for you. I don't like I get it. Like if that's not your cup of tea, if that's not your thing, but somebody in my opinion, somebody's got to do that for you for that business to take off. At least, yeah. Yeah, you just have to get out and you have to leverage your connections. That's a exactly. So, Steve, if you're still in here, help me understand, how are you attracting clients in this economy right now? Do you have good word of mouth? Because, oh, good for you, Steve. Congratulations. That's huge. Yeah, the getting over 1 million is a big, it's a big hump for most guys. Never do it. Most guys stall. They'll get to six, 700,000. They're exhausted, frustrated, retreat, and just can't get the muster or the energy or get organized enough. Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm glad the videos help. Yeah, so I, please hear me when I say this. The task, you're sort of in the worst place to be, but hold on. If you're tracking to do 2.4, then you've started to crack the code, okay? Because the 700 to like 1.2, 1.3 million, that's a really tough place for any remodeling company to stay. Because what ends up happening is, you already know this, it's pushing you beyond your limits. You just physically can't handle anything else. So you have to bring on technology, other people, you need additional resources. Okay, so you're using word of mouth, SEO, social media, and good community. Yeah. So you're laying all the proper foundation where, Steve, help me understand, you're tracking to do 2.5. What's your calendar year? Are you talking like, do you mean you have enough business on the books for 2026 already that you think 2026 you're going to hit 2.4? Or do you work off of is your business year different than the calendar year? So by you're going to close out at around 2 million this year for 2025. That's awesome. Congratulations. So yeah, you've cracked, this is good news. So okay, perfect. You're in an awesome place. So you're already starting to see now that it's, for you it's like a faucet. And what I mean is, you've got it sounds like you have a pretty good foundation. You're going to make little tweaks here and there. You're going to just add resources now, right? Like, if you do more marketing, you'll be able to sell more jobs, which means most likely you'll probably add like another project manager and maybe have to find another sub or two. I'm not quite sure your model, if you use in-house guys or subs, but basically you just do more of what you're doing to attract the business, turning the faucet on, and just expand the team a little bit. And before you know it, you'll be doing 3 million. Steve, are you the main guy doing all your sales for your company right now? All right. So look, this is awesome. Hey, congratulations. First, like, give yourself a pat on the back, because to sell 2.4 million as an owner operator is very impressive. Um, and it sounds like you're in a good market. I'm assuming your average job is probably over 100,000. Would that be accurate? Okay, so you're strictly doing sales. So generally, and look, there's always outliers, right? You understand the world's not black and white, it's a sea of gray. But typically in remodeling, a salesperson should be able to generate around 3 million a year in remodeling sales. Okay, so yeah, if you're selling around $80,000 jobs, 2.4 million is awesome. Congratulations, that's great. What I'm going with this is you personally are going to start maxing out. You just physically aren't going to be able to sell. Uh, we all limited by time. You, me, Jay Allen, Bodis, we all have 24 hours in a day. So you can only sell so many projects. Yes, you can get better at weeding out the leads. Yes, you can start automating your all's landing pages, website, and autoresponders so that you start pre-selling and weeding through the homeowners quicker. Um, and that way you're only spending time with the ideal. Like hopefully you guys have done the client avatar exercise and you know exactly who your ideal client is, and that's the only person you're trying to land, right? You want the perfect homeowner every time. Yeah. So for you guys, is your goal to keep growing, or are you at a place where you're like, "Now this is good"? Like what's the goal for 2026? All right. So are you guys considering bringing on another salesperson? Okay. So I Steve, I hopefully you'll stay in touch and we'll follow up as the year goes. I'm hoping for that you can pull through. Four is going to be let's go for it. I'm hoping you get there. It's a stretch. It's going to be you're going to have a lot on your plate to hit 4 million if you're doing all the sales. Now, there's some tricks you can try where you start. Yeah. No, Bodus, it's a good question. Most likely, yes. Where he's at, they're not even I doubt they're cornering the market at the moment. Yeah. Good. All right. Yeah. So you're building up your resources, making sure your team's deep. Yeah, because this is part of what for you guys, it's like trying to eat a pie. You got to slice it up and you got to make it bite-sized pieces. You got to get through it faster. So for you, if you can sell the 4 million, now you guys got to produce 4 million. And with the seasonality and vacation lifestyle, egg before the chicken, exactly, Jay. So this isn't going to be falling on you so much, Steve, but probably more on your brother. He's going to be have to focus on really sharpening the scheduling, kind of like what Bodis does. I mean, Bodis is managing 24 jobs, like insane. So that guy knows how to manage a job. Your brother's going to have to really sharpen the time that it's taking to put the work out from start to finish. And he'll have to really push himself this year to shave like a couple weeks off every job that he's used to doing. Yeah. So I'm assuming you guys have put the numbers up on the board of what you want to hit, and you divide it out, and you're like, this is how many jobs we have to have on the books. This is per week, per month, and this is how much we have to produce so that you can, there's got to be a sense of urgency for sure. You can do it. You just have to attack it. So, Steve, what are some of the common objections that you're running into? Are you are you doing because you're working with a lot of vacation properties? Are you doing a lot of your sales over like the Zoom? Are you doing Zoom calls, or how are you? Because I'm assuming a lot of these people that are hiring you, these are their vacation or second home, so they're not even probably meeting you at the property, or are they? Maybe I misunderstand. Hey, Bill, welcome. Yeah, good to see you. Happy post Thanksgiving. Thank you. And Steve, are you finding that you're able to close the deal? How many Zoom calls is it typically taking for you to get a homeowner from inquiry status, right? Like they reach out to you guys, they say, "Hey, we'd like you to come and do our kitchen remodel," to getting them to sign an agreement. How, when you're doing it via Zoom, how many appointments is that typically taking you right now? And are you doing all the design work in-house? Do you offer that as the service? That I have to understand that too. Tattered Accents, this is for remodelers. So welcome. If you're here to talk about remodeling, you're more than welcome to hang out. Oh, very cool. Okay. Awesome. What part of the country are you in? Hour southwest of Chicago. All right. Very cool. Well, welcome. Uh, Feel free to chime in or ask questions at any point. Let's see. Communication follow up is key with video from connect to sign. Okay, so about it's taken you about 6 weeks, and I'm assuming that's at least, I guess you're having a preliminary discussion, then you're coming back and a follow-up. So what? Is that about 4 calls, uh, in that time fr and are you doing them all on Zoom? Or are you actually just are you doing the old-fashioned, just a regular voice call? Or do you use like a you know what I mean, Google Meet? Yeah. Yeah, so, not all video. Okay, thanks. Tattered Accents. Yeah, so part of my business is I help m service remodelers with strategy, for sure. So, but yeah, at the same time, we're just talking remodeling business. All right, so Steve, it's not all video, majority is on the phone. And Steve, are you guys offering design in-house? Is that part of your package? Is the reason why it takes 6 weeks, is that because you're also getting a design put together and that takes a couple weeks? And I'm assuming then there's a revision, it's coming back? Yes, Jayon, it's shop talk. Exactly. Very good. Well, tattered accents, you found the right place. All right. So Steve, design is the trouble side. All right. And Steve, are you controlling that process? Bill, Bill would tell you you better be controlling it. What I'm saying is, are you the go-to for the homeowner? They contact you, you bring in the designer, you present the designer's plans to the homeowner. Are you controlling that whole process? You are. Okay. Very good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Steve, Bill's in the Bill at San Diego, California area. You do very similar, design, build, all subcontracted. Yeah, and Steve Bodis is asking you, how are you doing your designs? Yeah, Southern California. You're using House Pro and SketchUp. Okay, very good. And now, Steve, are you selling and doing the design, or do you have somebody else in your office that's helping you do the design? House Call Pro, SketchUp, or House Pro, SketchUp. All right. Yeah, Bill, good points. Renderings are standard operating 100%. And yes, renderings sell the job. Yeah. And Steve, I think what Bill's suggesting or saying too is like, yeah, people definitely they need to see your vision or their vision on paper before they're going to probably sign the deal. So yeah, if that's a hold up for you guys in getting them an initial design so that they can see something, yeah, I could see people they have to feel like you know what they want before they're gonna fork over and, sign up for that project. But you wanna keep doing it that way. I mean, you wanna get it to them quicker, it sounds like, but you wanna keep the design in-house. Yeah. So, Steve, how come you're not selling the design separately? because I hear what you're saying. You don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be designing for free. Have you guys considered you sell the design as its own service first? Yeah. Yep. Good question. Yeah. So Bill's curious. What's Steve? Tell us your sales process. Bill, I'm shaking my head like you are. Yeah, it's crazy, right? They're Steve, I so if I hear what you're saying, we've tried the pre-con agreements, but 100% of the time they fail. They're blessed. A lot is happening. You got to be sharp to be in these chats. I'm telling you, Steve. Hear me when I say this. And everyone has a learning curve and a process. And go. I would offer to you to possibly consider looking at this year selling your design separately. You sell the design as its own standalone service. The homeowner pays for that, so you're getting paid for all your renderings. And then that naturally, then you transition the design into the remodel. Yeah, blessed. I'm not sure what Newsmax Saturday night means. But yeah, good question, Bill, to ask Steve, what is the closing ratio? All right. You're not alone, blessed. My we recently bought a new place and it needs some help as well. What kind of so blessed, do you do remodeling? You looking to have remodeling done? Help us understand where you are in the world. Yeah, blessed. Let us know what part of the country you're in. We might have a remodeler for you. 60%. Yeah. Yeah. That's good, Steve. So you're closing. Yeah, I mean, you probably could raise your prices a little bit. So Steve, you guys are doing good things. I mean, last year. Yeah, so Bill, I would have that's awesome. I for what I find, yes, when you if you sell design separately and sell it first, you pretty much are guaranteed you're going to be closing the job. Um, Bill, the ones that you don't get, what do you think? What happens? Is it because they end up holding off? They decide they're not ready. Like I'm a suit price, yeah, because it's not like they're. I guess every now and then somebody's going to go with someone else, but that's probably pretty rare at that point. My experience has been when you land the design contract and you do the design for the homeowner, that is where you shine. You build all your rapport, you demonstrate your capabilities, your trustworthiness, your professionalism. So it's a no-brainer that they're going to hire you to do the job. Yeah, somehow you didn't Bill, so somehow you didn't weed them out. I got you. Yeah. Yes, Jay Allen. Yep, 100%. Yeah, price and value sometimes fall hand in hand. And okay, yeah, Bill. So you do, yeah. Once you get, if you land the design, yeah, they're gonna hire you. Yeah, yeah. So Steve, what one thing to look at of going this potentially this year is you can sell design separately. Now you're getting paid to do all your rendering and estimating, and then you offer that as a disc. That fee gets subtracted off when the homeowner hires you to do the actual full on remodel. That's helping you with your cash flow. I try to, so Steve, you're saying I try to have a rough estimate written before I'm on site, then edit before sending. Okay. Yeah. So now, Bill, let me ask you. So Steve's market's a little different. Steve, it is. It's a lot. I appreciate you guys typing in. It's a pain. I get it. So Bill, Steve works a lot of his clients that that's not their primary home, right? It's vacation, secondary property. So he's doing a lot of Zoom remote selling. I'm assuming, Steve, you're selling a lot of jobs and not even meeting the homeowner in person. You're emailing them the agreement. They're emailing it back. They're electronically transferring funds. Yeah, he's works out of North Carolina in a like a lake area where, right, so they have a lot of people that this would be like their vacation home, second property. Not all, but a bunch. Yeah. Yeah, Jan, it's a different, it takes a different skill set in a sense, right? Uh, And Steve, you can probably attest to this. Sometimes it's actually easier to sell a homeowner to do a remodel on a vacation home. There's a little bit of a disconnect. They don't get as antsy about that process as they do if it's their primary home. So sometimes it can actually be an easier sale, and so it depends. Yeah. Jay Allen, have you considered doing some video calls with homeowners when you're trying to sell over the phone so that they can actually see your face, get, see your personality? I find that for me that makes a big difference nowadays. Like whether it's a Google Meet, a Zoom, even like a Messenger, you can do, or with your iPhone. Yes, uh, Bill J. Allen's in plumbing. Yeah. They might, Jay Allen, but I mean, so so Steve, just so you understand, sometimes TikTok will ban your comment for one reason or another. It filters it. I had to just release that one comment. That's why it's a little late. The website inquiry. I don't know why TikTok didn't like that comment. But yeah. Well, no, Jay, just hear me. If you and I are having a conversation and we're on the phone and you can't see me, there's a disconnect that happens naturally. But if you and I, and if the homeowner will do it, if you can get them on a video call, you can have a little bit of a different connection with them. You can see their facial expressions, they can see yours. There's more transparency that comes across, more trust that can be built. And in my experience, it overcomes that barrier and could help um, facilitate the sale. But yes, if you're doing it traditionally on a phone call, it can be more challenging for sure. It's definitely not as impactful as being there in person. Yeah, so Bill, that's a good question. So Steve, here's the thing. You'll get away from the word estimate. You're not charging for the estimate. You still can give an estimate on your first call as a ballpark. You're selling us. Yeah, what Bill's going to tell you is what I'm saying is you're not charging for an estimate. You're facilitating and providing a design. So it's a service. Yeah. Well, Jay, you're a very personable person, right? And the reason it works really well for you in person, I get it 100%, is because that homeowner's connecting with your personality, right? They can see that you're you're not shady, you're trustworthy, right? Your eyes aren't glazed over, you're not like on drugs or, drunk. They can see that you're a trustworthy person. And I'm saying that the phone could help, if you did a video call, that could come across too. But yeah, yeah, I prefer to be in person too. If I can't, I always work better in person because I can get a sense for where a person's at. I can pick up on any uncomfortableness that they might be experiencing. I can't do that if I can't see their body language. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Steve, I'm going to be putting on a challenge in a few days about getting, I say get paid for estimating, right? Because that triggers a lot of people. But really, what you're doing is you're learning how to sell design first. And so, in theory, if I charge a homeowner to do a design, I am in fact now getting paid to do the estimate, but I don't present it to the homeowner as, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, I'm going to charge you for an estimate. No, I'm going to provide you with a design. And once we have the design, that's going to facilitate me being able to give an accurate price for your project. That's how the estimate gets derived based off of the design. Okay. Uh, so, all right. All right. What are we at? Bill, I'm lost at times because and which is cool. Sometimes I'm seeing like if you guys are messaging each other, I'm not trying to chime in on those. Which so yeah, somehow I'm following it. I hope. Maybe I'm not. It's all good. We I do a monthly calls. I have a group, and some of you guys might want to. I might invite some of you guys. You should probably check it out where we can. It's a Zoom style, but everybody has a face. Everybody can have a voice. It's it's not all this texting. uh, so, but yeah, but this isn't bad. At least we're getting some good conversation. Yeah. Steve, you here's what you if you Steve, I am doing a call on Thursday. But Jay Allen, you'll be getting a message from me about I'm going to do a call on Thursday. Um, if you'd like to be a part of it, follow this account so that you can DM me. And Steve, you just have to send me an email address, and then I can send you the Zoom link. And it's about a half hour, okay? And it's a group discussion with some remodelers across the country, but everybody has, can contribute, and you don't have to text and type everything. You can talk. But yeah, so Jay Allen, I'll be sending you a message tomorrow, letting you know. Well, actually, it already is tomorrow where I am, but yeah, later today, basically letting you know that there's another. I'll be doing a call on Thursday. It got pushed a couple days because of I was away for Thanksgiving. It would have been last Thursday. Yeah, so Steve, what if you're doing your own designs? I think what Bill's suggestion is you would. Now, I never hired a designer as a full-time employee. I worked with them as they were another one of my subcontractors. And but when we would be talking with the homeowner, we presented as a team. This is my designer, right? Now, on the plans that got presented to the county, my designer's business would be on the plan a lot of times, especially but that's just a technicality. Yeah. So Steve, it just takes networking. There's a lot of so there are prima donnas in the design space, just like in the contractor, just like homeowners, right? So everything, remember, it's not always black or white, it's a sea of gray. You by doing some more networking and reaching out and looking up, you can find, I'm sure, a designer or two that you could work with that would love to work with you for you on a subcontractor basis. And technically, they might not even have to be in your area as long as you can take good photos and accurate measurements. You could work with a remote designer. Might not be ideal, but it's possible. Yeah. Yeah, and what Steve, understand. So Bill has his stuff together. He understands the design process and he's making it work. And when you control the process, right? When you're dictating the terms, you're running the show, it all starts to fall in place. But everyone has to trust that you're like the head coach. And the first time or two you do it, you're going to have some kinks to work out. But many designers will be happy to work under you. A lot of designers are used to telling the contractor what to do, and I would don't do it that way. Okay? I'm the GC. The homeowner only contacts me. I bring in all the players. If I need an architect, a structural engineer, a designer, any sub, I bring in the people. So it goes homeowner, me, and then I reach out to all the people. And that's how I would suggest that you consider doing it. And that is similar to how Bill does it. The homeowner only talks to Bill. Bill controls all the other players of the game. Yeah. So Bill's process, he has the designer facilitate getting all the selections. So, Steve, the beauty of this business is you can make it work a variety of ways. Yeah. So the volume, Steve, if the volume that you guys are starting to do, you technically will probably look into possibly bringing on a selections coordinator. You'll have someone who works for you part time, and it is their job to coordinate being on the homeowner to make sure all the selections are being done. In my world, that worked better than me doing it or my designer doing it. We would use a selection coordinator. Typically, it's a female who has some design inclination, possibly, but is detail oriented, has a pleasant demeanor, calls up the homeowner because basically they're going to be bugging them and they are going to stay on them in a pleasant way to get all of those selections, even when the homeowner sort of doesn't want to do it. That's what we found worked best. You can call them a project coordinator. You could be the selections coordinator, the project coordinator. But this could be a perfect job for somebody who's like a stay-at-home mom. Um, and then as the business starts growing, it would develop into potentially a full-time position at your place. Maybe not. They could work as a subcontractor all the time, but you'll be feeding them a lot of work. So, yeah, so Steve, if you don't mind, I know you already put it into the comment. Bill, he's around 180 to 100,000. So a little bit different style of project than what you're doing. Yeah, Steve's doing all the sales. He's busy. He's he's got a lot of projects happening. Oh, okay. So yours. Oh, so Steve, your job's a little bit higher than you were saying. I thought you were saying okay. Typical for you, a kitchen is around 160. Okay. Steve, are you guys doing exterior remodeling too, like additions? Yeah, 160 is a higher end kitchen. Okay. All right. Mm. I think I think Steve has a brother who's the GC, and it sounds like his brother runs a tight ship. A lot more additions this last year. Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's the last this last year I've noticed that with the way the economy is, a lot of companies that are working with higher end clientele are crushing it because they're not paying attention to all the drama that's going on in the world, right? They're just head down, they're making money and they're enjoying life. So, all right, what are we at? No, you just uh, people, Steve, people with so we talk about that. I talk about the ideal client avatar. There's nothing wrong with saying I want to work with people that have money and they're comfortable spending it and they enjoy giving themselves nice things. Those people are much more enjoyable to work with. I would shift my entire business, like all my advertising in my world would go towards that ideal client of yours, right? The homeowner that has the second vacation home, or this is their like dream house, retirement home that they live on, and now they want to make it even nicer. Yeah, it's not a lot of fun working with the homeowner that's stressed all the time and can barely afford it, and it's taking every ounce of their livelihood to make it happen. All right. Very good. Yeah, I could see you guys. Yeah, that's good, Steve. All right. You got some employees and then a bunch of subs. Yeah. Well, Steve, I appreciate you sharing a lot tonight. You and your brother are doing a great job. So hopefully you're going to have a nice holiday dinner and, celebrate the hard work that you guys have done this year. It's awesome. You guys, I mean, it's evident that you're working hard. I can only imagine how many hours you put in this last year to produce what you guys have done the way you're doing it. So congrats to you. Yeah. I mean, Jayon, it's pretty impressive, right? To see these guys double their income, especially when, look, we're all at a different point on the journey, right? And it's nice sometimes to see that there's another level everyone can get to if they want, if that's where they're trying to go, that it is possible. There are guys doing it as we speak. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you're up for the challenge, you're capable. You're more than capable of getting there. So yeah, I think it's very encouraging. So Steve, I don't think you and your brother are going to have much problems getting to the next goal this year. You know, you just got to work on the strategy and implement. Same with Bill. Bill's going to crush it this year coming up. I know, and he's going to probably have his most profitable year. So, yeah. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys commenting and participating, and I hear you. I know it can be challenging to type all that into the chat. So thank you for doing that. Uh, yeah, it really is. Everybody's living a different experience, Jay Allen. You know what I mean? Like, I think the best for me, and I can only speak for myself I didn't get into social media when it first came out, but my God, about I don't know, at least 10 years ago when I started seeing what other people were accomplishing, it really started opening my eyes to going, damn, like you should be doing it. What it said to me was, Mike, you need to challenge yourself. You could be doing more. Because when I looked around my local area, I thought I was doing pretty good compared to people that I know locally, right? But when you start looking nationally, internationally, you start realizing there's a whole other world out there. And there's a lot of competent people that are really enjoying themselves and they're working hard. They're getting a lot of results out of it. And so to me, that's what is the beauty of all this, something like TikTok or Instagram. That's all right, Jay Allen. You have a TikTok account. That's social media. What I'm saying is you're able to participate and get exposed and see people throughout the country that are achieving, and because I swear, if you just watch the news or if you're at like your local community barbecue, everybody's talking doom and gloom and how the world's life sucks and this is hard, But you come on here and you can see people from across the country that are like crushing it. Iron sharpens iron, I mean, you get around some good people, the energy, it gets contagious. You can learn best practices, you start seeing commonalities. You're like, no wonder it works because these guys all do the same things. Yeah. I mean, Bill, you have a awesome foundation for your business that you've built. And Steve, you and your brother have built a really good foundation for your business. And Jay Allen's got an amazing foundation that he's built for his. I mean, Jay Allen just finished a year. He's crushing it. Everybody's doing really well. So it's very encouraging. Again, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna I'm going to hop off here tonight, and we'll be back later for another one. So good to see you guys. Hope you enjoyed the holidays. I had a nice break myself, and we'll be in touch. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jay. I'm glad you were able to make it tonight. Take care, guys.